I know.
I know.
But yeah, welcome to the LAArtist Podcast, the LAArtist Podcast. And today we have our co-host, Andrew Dorano, as you know, and an amazing guest and friend of ours, Ricky Rosario.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, welcome. Yes. And I am your host, Mr. David Dorano, by the way. You are listening to the LAArtist Podcast, where we chat with local artists about their works, styles, what influenced them to start their artist journey, and more. Subscribe so you don't miss the latest episode. And to see bonus content, check out our website on the description below. This podcast is produced by Lorano Gallery, an LA-based gallery and studio space dedicated to showcase work from upcoming artists, as well as provide space for art shows, workshops, photo and film production. Feel free to check out the gallery at loranogallery.com. Well, welcome to the LAArtist Podcast. Thank you, Ricky, for being a part of it.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm always excited to be out in the Verano compound. You know that.
Yes. Thank you. And it's been fun. I think we've talked about just hanging out and chit-chatting about just random things for a while. And now that we have a platform.
And table.
And
mics.
Yeah.
Mics. Couple Michelles as well, and then
Speaking of mics, this is a few podcasts in. Now I want one of the mics that David has.
Oh,
yeah. You're saying like, how come he has the cool mic, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm co-host too.
They're like, where's my cool mic?
My cool mic.
Well, you can if we have a big enough sponsor, we can buy some of these mics.
Mike, sponsor us for more mics,
please.
Yeah.
If not, it's gonna come out of your own pocket, and this is not a cheap microphone.
I don't have deep pockets.
I have holes in my pockets.
Hey Ricky, can I borrow a few grand so I can buy one mic?
I need a few grand. So sorry, buddy.
But yeah, it's again, welcome. Like we always chit chat, especially with Ricky. We might go off on a tangent here and there.
We might go off topic.
For all the
just follow along.
Shout out to that other podcast off topic.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't know about that one, right?
Yeah, it's another podcast that we listen to.
You listen to it. Nice.
Yeah,
nice,
it's a hilarious podcast.
Nice.
But speaking of our own podcast, feel free to listen to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
That's right.
That's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and all the other random podcast players that are out there as well. So yeah, links will be in the description and all that fun stuff. For Ricky Rosario, also goes by Yooo Rick.
Yeah, that's right, on social media. Yo.
The
next show. The second.
Yeah. I did notice that. I forgot
You're
when
not
I
like
was
a yo-yo champion.
No. Actually, I wish I was. I used to have yo-yos when I was younger.
Nice.
I wish I was, but no. As my friends back home always say, Yooo Rick, and then someone was like, yo. I was like, yo, that's actually
like yo. That's
yo.
You know, it's funny when I leave comments on Instagram. I'm like, yo, because that's like my name. I'm like, is that what this guy just does? He just yells, yo. Yeah, shout out to me.
So I would put David.
yeah. It's really weird. Yeah, so I just ran with that. Before that, I used to be. Because when I used to have AOL, like my screen name used to be Slick Rick the Ruler, DA RULA. So I always do like Slick Rick or whatever. So I think my first Instagram was like Slick Rick 1118 or something like that. Yeah. And then I changed it.
11/18/1993.
Yeah.
I honestly I wish, but no, 1988. I'm old. So
yeah. To everyone who doesn't know that reference, AOL was an internet provider.
Yeah.
American Online. Forgot what the L stands for.
That's a good question.
Like
America
Online. Oh, it's right. Yeah.
Before they got together,
they used to hyphen it all the time.
Yeah.
Like
America Online. With that, you're online.
Which again, like they got bought out. I forgot who it was. I think it was like Time Warner at the time. I don't know who it was. I forgot the time right now at the time. But it's like they spent a lot of money for that. And like now everything we have is like kind of what that was, right?
Yeah.
You sign in, you have your email, your messages, your social media, your
I still see like clips on Instagram or YouTube every now and then where the the newscaster were like, "What is the internet?" It's like, what is that?
What is that?
What is it?
It was
What
so
is
funny.
electronic
So
mail?
funny.
Yeah.
It's like emails,
Yeah, yeah.
electronic mails. But what is that?
It's true, right? It's crazy.
Somebody
Like
explain the internet.
it's so normal now, and it's like back then they were so confused
Yeah.
by it. It was
And
like,
then somebody that was working behind the scenes, one of the more tech people, he was trying to explain to them what the internet was at the
Yeah.
time, and it's like,
No, just send me a letter. Just send me a letter.
oh, that clip's so funny.
Yeah.
oh, that's great.
And then obviously we're not super old, but we do remember technology growing up. But yeah, so what did start your journey? Like, because obviously
Through the internet.
you've been in the game for a while as
Yeah.
a filmmaker, as an artist, as a photographer,
Mhm.
and little things like that. What started? What started it all?
What really starts
Besides
funny,
AOL.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this question, and something that I've never thought about before, and I think about it now. So when I was in college, my sophomore year, I used to intern at Sony Music in the accounting department. So it wasn't a fun job, but like I got to see like invoices of like what these artists are spending out to dinners with like their agents or whatever, or clients or whatever. But being at Sony, even though I was an intern, I was able to get a discount on like any Sony product. So like every month or whatever, they'll say, "Oh yeah, you guys get a discount." And there was like a store that was far away from the office that people would go to, and it was like a big ass store, and I guess like at the Sony's headquarters in Jersey or whatever. And they had everything, speaker systems, everything. And then I just realized like that's where I bought like my first camera, and it was a Sony Cybershot. Remember the snap and shoot ones?
yeah, point and shoot.
Yeah, the point and
yes.
shoot ones. Yo, I had one of those, and that was like my first camera that I was just like, cool. I'm over here taking photos of me and my friends. So cool. Like, if you look up Sony Cybershot, like it was infamous for people just being like this with it. Like that
Yeah.
was like the first
Mhm.
like selfie kind of like camera in a way.
because it was lightweight. It had a wide angle,
Yeah.
and like you can put it in your pocket.
Yeah, easy,
You
easy
can
in your
put
pocket.
it in your pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because even before then, like some of the around what year?
This is probably what 2008. I want to say.
Okay, yeah,
2008.
yeah, because that's when I feel like that's when cameras started to become smaller. Because again,
Yeah.
technology was able to
Mm-hmm.
the pixel rate was still low.
It was very low, yeah.
It was
Because I
like-
look at photos now from that, I'm like, oh my god, this photo's hard. Like, I can't see no detail. Like,
It's like you can't blow it up if you see it in small.
yeah,
it'll
I
be-
can't. It's so crazy.
it'll look good. It's small, but yeah. But yeah, because I do remember, like even in my case, like I started photography, or using some of my uncle's cameras that were
Mhm.
film cameras that were big and bulky,
Mhm.
and then one of the first digital cameras that my dad bought to use like with the family was a Minolta
Oh,
digital camera,
nice.
but it was a brick. It was like bigger than a stick of butter.
No
It was
way.
like very thick,
yeah, yeah,
very bulky, and
Mhm.
again very low resolution. You can't really put it in your pocket.
yeah, yeah.
It came with a little pouch to put on your belt, but
yeah,
I remember those pouches.
Yeah.
yeah, remember? Yeah, I had one of those too. That's
Remember those,
right.
like,
Yes,
those camera
yes.
pouches.
you
Yes.
put it on your belt. But yeah, but
It's like,
the
you play
the
Magic?
Cybershot.
Yeah, the Cybershot was like the first camera I was thinking about. I was like, because I always used to say the Canon T2i, but no, the Canon T2i came after the Sony Snapshot, the Cybershot, because I eventually ended up taking a photography class in college, and that's where I got the T2i, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh cool, I got like this is like a professional camera. Like people are like making stuff with this, right? Whether not like. At that time, not everyone was making like movies on like these cameras like that, but you were able to shoot music videos. You were able to shoot like all these smaller things. And by that time, when I got the T2i, that was 2010, around there, 2009, 2010. And so I started learning a little bit more photography. And then it was just like, understand like, oh yeah, everything like everything that's a photo, like someone took it. Someone just caught a moment in time. And that was like the thing that really got to me was like, wow, with photography, you could catch a moment in time. And that was big for me too, because growing up, my mom always had photos of me when I was a baby. And like, now I'm always shooting on like, the little Fuji films, like film cameras, the 35 millimeter ones, like for fun. And my mom had a bunch of those too back when I was younger. I'm like, oh, that's where all these photos came from. Were these little like, Fuji film, Kodak film, like snap and shoots,
disposable cameras.
Yeah. I, and now I'm like, oh, I use them all the time. for my own stuff. So it's funny to see kind of like the kind of like the circle, just like how you come back to it, something that was in your life so long ago, but now it's like a big part of my life now again.
Yeah, because you still shoot with film cameras.
Yeah, I still shoot on film cameras. I shoot on film cameras more than I do digital, to be honest. And I think it's just, I love it for just the practice of, again, capturing a moment, being like very focused on what's happening at the time. Because with digital, you could just, right?
Yeah.
100 shots in fucking, what, 20 seconds?
Yeah, pretty much, give or take, yeah.
Right? And then what I saw when I was doing a lot more digital, I just called myself like, oh my God, I'm taking so many photos like of the same thing. And then like, oh, which one's better? Is their eye closed here, a little bit closed, and not closed, like. Whereas, like, yeah, if you got them with their eyes closed on film, sometimes it looks even better. Like, like sometimes it looks even better if you got somebody with their eyes closed on film, just because the texture, right, and like the way it looks and feels and stuff. So, but yeah, I definitely shoot a lot more film. I just realized, like, wow, even when you go to like photo galleries, I'm like, oh wait, that was just a moment. It was just somebody they took a photo of on the street, whatever it was, but that was just a moment, and they were able to capture it in a specific way.
Yeah,
and that really like captivated me.
Yeah, and like with that, for the audio listeners, on our studio, we have some of Ricky's photos hanging. Some of the prints that he has done. So obviously for the. We'll be posting some BTS photos on our website about them, so you can check them out as well.
I like this picture of the houses and the bike.
Yeah, that's in DR. That's in the Dominican Republic.
Nice.
That's actually on digital.
If you want to repeat that, but onto the mic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to get out the way for the photo.
Well, no,
the audio listeners.
Yeah, got you.
You're good.
But yeah, it's a Dominican. I was in the Dominican Republic, and it was just a street that was empty. I saw it was a nice like. I wanted to capture DR in some way. And that's another thing too. Like every time I travel to DR to see family, I'm like, oh, I gotta like take more photos of that's my ancestry. That's where I'm from. That's where my family's from. Like I want to capture and stuff.
It's funny. I like it a lot because it reminds me of like where we grew up in Mexico.
Yeah, right. Because it's similar, right?
It's very rural,
very simple.
Except you have paved roads.
Oh yeah, we have dirt roads.
yeah. In Mexico, like at that time, we had dirt roads.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine the road just be dirt. With some rocks and all that. Oh, and then a dog on the ceiling. That's what in Mexico we have dogs on the roofs.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's what's missing there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Everything else,
awesome.
Like the color, the way that the houses are built, and then the little mountain in the background. Exactly like where we grew up in Mexico.
Yeah.
I love it.
And even that so style of bike. So there's a motorcycle on it.
Yeah.
And by the looks of it, it looks like it could be a Honda like 250 something.
Yeah, one of those like little,
very small.
DR is like, I'm sure in Mexico too. Like everyone's just on like little dirt bikes.
Little dirt bikes or little Vespas. Little motorized vehicles.
We call them. We also got pasolas. I don't know if you guys call them that too, but pasolas is what they call like. And they're more like Vespas kind of, like pasolas. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I will say DR has a lot of other dirt roads. Those just happen to be
for the shot.
For the shot.
Digitally made a paper.
Shot on film. No.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I thought it was very nice that you guys put the photos up, man.
Well,
it's really nice to see your work kind of.
Well, we are also recording these podcasts, so there will be a video version of it, so you can see how hilarious and how off topic we go with some of these things. But yeah, and I know, like you said, you mentioned you shoot with film more than digital, but like there is one of those things where digital can be beneficial.
Yeah.
And just from my own experience, we do have a couple bigger shots here that you mentioned they were shot on digital.
Yeah.
And doing the light streaks and stuff like that, using that technique. I know to do it on film, you can't see what you're doing. So you have to trust your skill set, trust your fundamentals to be able to capture the shot and
hope you get lucky on the shot.
Well, and again, and I feel like that's what film can do for your creativity. It's like, yes, digital, it's easier so you can see what you're doing, so you can fix your mistakes. But like you're making mistakes that you're trying to fix.
Yeah.
Versus with film, it's like you have to know not to make those mistakes. Be more patient. Take your time. Calculate what you want to do. And makes it where it's like you take the shot and you're like, okay, cool. I didn't make any mistakes. Or if I did, it's like, it actually looks better.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that.
Embrace those mistakes.
But I think even the digital, like, it helps you see, like you said, like going back to the technicals, like, oh, I shot this at, whatever seconds f-stop. So like now you're able to see it. Now if you want to apply it to the film camera, you can. But then obviously there's a lot of other things with the film camera, like what ISO is the film, right? Like, is it the exposure? Is it 400? Is it 800? Is it 200?
Yeah.
And that's something that's really cool too, because it's like you can't just shoot on any roll just to shoot on any roll. Like it might have an exposure that's very, very low. So you have to be aware of that. It's like, hey, I can't use this at a club, right? Like it's dark unless there's like a lot of lights or something. But you can't like go to a club or a dark space shooting on a 200 exposure roll of film, like.
I mean, if you carry like a giant lamp.
If you do that, Okay, now obviously if you have a flash or whatever, but like, those are the kind of like the things that, film definitely helps you realize.
Think about it.
You're constantly thinking about light, and you think about it with digital, but you're able to change that so quickly.
You put the automatic thing.
And it just changes where
there's no automatic button on the film.
No, but
some of them do though.
Some of them do, and
but
again,
it's just like presets, isn't it?
They do have light meters in the cameras. Some of the older cameras were just fully manual, so there was no electronics. Some of the modern cameras between, I would say, the early 70s towards the 80s, you were able to put a battery that had a light meter in the viewfinder, so it can tell you like how much light there is, and then you have to adjust the settings to match the light, to match the meter. And then later on, like early 80s and on, then it would have you're able to put a bigger battery with more electronics.
Crazy.
So you're able to get presets on whether it be your ISO you can't change because that's the film speed.
Exactly,
The ISO or ASA, depending on where you're from and how old the camera is. And then you change the speed of the camera, which is the shutter speed, how long is the exposure is going to be. And the lens can be automatic. The aperture, how wide the lens will open. That was the only thing that was automatic. And it would, according to the light meter, it would automatically adjust to the closest aperture. But even again, that towards the late 80s into the 90s became more advanced. And now you're able to have everything automatic. Except for the film speed. Because the film is film. It's one specific thing. And then from there, it jumped over to digital. But yeah, no, it is crazy how I prefer film cameras from the early 80s down. Just because, again, I have to do it. I have to set, I do have a reference meter. And that's it.
And that's it. That's all you, and then sometimes that's all you need, like, there was a book that's true. When I first moved to LA in 2000, I came across this book about Stanley Kubrick's photography when he started out. So if you didn't know, before Stanley Kubrick was a director, he was a photographer, like through and through. He used to be a photographer for like local newspapers and even like a major like newspapers and stuff like that. Yeah, so it was very interesting to learn and see. And then there's this book called Drama and Shadows, and it's like basically his like photography from like the 50s or whatever. And that's where I realized, like, oh yeah, everything is just light, but a film allows you to like really play into it however you see fit. So like this whole, if there's like a doorway where like, and the room you're in taking the photo, it's super dark, but you see the light through the door, like that's gonna give a certain aesthetic depending on how you shoot it, the exposure and all that stuff. So like reading that book and just like looking at the photography, that really inspired me to just be like, hey, just capturing the moments as is and adjusting, yourself to the light, however that may be,
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I do feel like, again, with digital cameras, you can amplify light digitally on the camera itself, bumping up the ISO, which mainly acts the higher you go, it acts more like night vision.
Yeah.
Well, it'll just amplify and try to digitally add certain things that the computer thinks it's there.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where, light is always constant.
Yeah.
You can't change it.
You can't change it. Yeah.
So
they can. There's switches on the wall.
What do you mean? You just
change it.
Press it and that's it. Press it down.
Yeah, it goes from light to dark. Easy.
Yeah. But when you go outside, you can't do that with the sun.
Yeah. Yes, you can. You just go inside and flip the switch.
And it goes away and it goes back.
Goes away. If you want more light, just go outside.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah, like in nature, that like everything's constant. There's always constant movement. There's always constant light. And even doing photography at night is so hard with film cameras.
Hell yeah!
Just because it's like, well, it's pure black.
Yeah.
What do you use? You would still need a lot of light.
Yeah.
Even just for an industrial aspect of just the city, like. At night, how many light posts do you see?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that the sidewalk is visible to walk at night. Now imagine with a camera, like how much light you need to be able to capture that.
Yeah. That's true, man. Yeah, film is beautiful. I want to shoot more like narratives on film, and I've been a part of projects that I've shot on film, whether it be a music video or short films and stuff like that, or even I did a feature film actually too that I was a coordinator on that we shot on film. It's crazy to do it, right? But it's a beautiful thing, especially if you have the practice of like, hey, let's set it up right. Let's practice through the motions.
And even on that, there's a limit.
Yeah. Like, you're like, hey, we're done.
A film camera has up to 35 shots.
Yeah. You can't get crazy being like, oh, take 100. Like, nah.
Yeah, and especially in film, like, you only have 50-minute rolls, or 90-minute rolls.
Yeah.
Once you're done, like, okay, cool. Yeah. Anybody have like an extra 10 grand to get another 50 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I'm currently helping out a friend with a short where I'm producing it, and it was kind of that, right? He had to like decide, if in order for me to shoot another 10 minutes, I need to have X amount of film. He's just like,
that's
okay,
crazy.
X amount of feet.
Yeah, X amount of feet.
Per film.
Yeah.
Wasn't like a Tarantino movie, The Hateful Eight? Did he shot that?
Yeah, that was shot on film. That was shot on.
Dude, like, how much money just for film? Because that movie's long.
And even that one in particular, because it wasn't shot just on regular 35.
Yeah, it was shot on like a bigger widescreen.
It was shot on Panavision 70 millimeter.
Yeah,
film.
I was gonna say like 65 or 70. It was 70.
Yeah, it was 70 millimeter film.
Is that more than 35 millimeter?
Essentially, it's almost double the size, so it's a thicker film.
So you're getting a lot more in it. Like I saw it in the theaters when that came out. I remember that. They did a whole showcase with it.
Yeah,
like
it's essentially
it was cool.
It would be like the 4K version film.
Yeah,
because it's like 35 millimeter film, 70 millimeter would be because it's almost double the size of it. So it'd be like the 4K version.
Okay.
So it's more more data, more information, right? More that could fit in the.
And you guys didn't want to shoot with that?
I mean, to afford that even is like crazy. That's the problem.
You need Tarantino money.
Yeah, you need Tarantino money. But I have been trying to get more like old like film cameras, like like the 8mm. Like I haven't shot on that, but it'd be nice to finally like own one. Like, hey, I could pop in film and just shoot with it, and then
and it is one of those things where film is not dead.
It isn't, and it will never be dead.
It's I feel like it's a medium that will last longer than digital.
100%.
Just because you still see photos from the 1800s that were shot back then.
Yeah.
And they're still in pristine condition if they're kept correctly.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, film has been around for forever, right? And even when digital happened, right, they were like, oh, that's it. Film is done. Like, yeah, maybe it had like a downturn, I'm sure, like where people stopped buying it.
Because digital was the hype.
Yeah, because digital was the hype, but Now everyone goes back to film because again, there is a look, and there is an aesthetic to it that you cannot Well, I'll take that back. You could replicate it.
Oh, of course.
It just takes a long time.
Yeah. It takes a long time, and also like it's you could tell the difference. Like you're not. You might have a little grain or whatever, but that's not real film grain. You could tell it's real film grain. You know.
Also, it's like, oh yeah, is this digital or film? It's like, oh, it's digital. It just makes it look like film.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, what's the point?
Right. Yeah. Then it's like, what's the point? You know,
it's like,
just shoot on film.
Yeah.
Just shoot on film. Like if you didn't want to do that, then great. Then just shoot on digital.
Or if you didn't have a film camera, then
that's fine. Yeah.
Digital with that Instagram filter.
with the toaster filter. Whoever remembers the toaster filter, Instagram, can you bring it back, please? Well, yeah, that was a good film.
Wait, they don't have it anymore?
They don't have the toaster filter. Like people hated it.
Really?
Because it literally it burned your images. Like it looked like everything was just on a piece of toast. Look through a piece of toast. but it was pretty cool. Like you were able to get creative with it. But yeah. And again, that's digital trying to make film looks and film presets for digital photos.
It's
hard.
Yeah, very hard. And again, I've gone through so many like trying to create my own presets, right? Grain this much, whatever, exposure this much, and like you see it, like it's not film. It's not real film.
Yeah. And speaking of not real fun, we'll segue into the not real fun Quick&A that everyone has been getting a C+, give or take.
Fuck. Okay.
Somebody got a B-, I think.
Oh yeah.
What? I'm gonna get an A.
Put on the comments below who was the person that got a B-.
Yeah.
I think that's the grade we gave him. I think
I gave him a B-.
I don't remember.
I'm ready for this. I heard it before, and I'm like,
yes, the Quick&A. So these are all amazingly delicious questions.
Okay.
That have nothing to do with anything but amazing answers.
Got it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you nervous?
Nope. Rapid fire. I'm
ready.
Should
be.
You should be.
Damn it.
You should be. And then I will add a couple extra ones on the fly because we you're this episode we're talking about film and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But some of the first key questions that always come up: pen or pencil?
Pen.
Ballpoint or gel pen?
Ballpoint.
Why?
Gel is good, but it gets messy. When if it's dry right after,
you gotta wait for it to dry.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I don't want. Trust me, beautiful for signatures. That's it.
Imagine being left-handed and working with gel. It's
that's
like
what I'm saying.
That would be that would definitely be a little bit harder.
But I'm saying because I remember once someone was like, "Oh, you should do," and I was like, "You know what? Gel pen's cool." Then I was like, wait a minute, why? I had mad black, like just ink all over my forearm. Like, what the hell's happening?
I know. Favorite medium?
Okay. And you mean just like TV, film, or
no? Creative medium.
Oh, okay. Favorite medium? Photography.
Yeah. Film or digital?
Film.
35 mil or 120 mil?
35.
Have you ever tried 120 mil?
I haven't.
Soon enough. I'll let you borrow some of my medium format.
Yes.
For sketching or note taking, either one. Do you finish a sketchbook or a notebook, or should you just buy another one?
Oh, I have a lot of notebooks. So I'm not finished. So when you're inspired to get one, just get one.
Just buy another.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I usually buy them because I'm like specific project. It was gonna be specific for this, right? So it's like, I'm doing this project. I'm gonna buy a notebook for that or a notepad for that. Yeah. Obviously, I don't fill it all the way up. Probably, I just I use it halfway, and then something else happens. I get another call, and then I just use it. I buy another one for the next project.
You don't just like staple those pages and then continue on the second.
I'll tell you, dude.
The notebook.
in this recent move I did, and it's like I'm going through all my stuff, and like I see all these notepads I have, and I was like, oh, there's the note I had about this one project. I was thinking about that last week. Where was it?
Yeah, you should frame them.
Yeah, just put them up, a little frame, nice, make it look nice. Black and white or color?
Oof.
Or sepia, as in
the washed out.
What washed out brown?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with color. I love black and white though. Like right now, again, I'm working on a couple projects that are black and white, and it's beautiful to see in black and white. I like color. I think some of my favorite movies are like, I don't want to say so much very vibrant, but like color just sticks out. Not that it's like poppy or whatever. It's like it's nice to see a green offset a red, or a green offset, just like it's nice to see like the differentiation in colors when it's next to each other, or like the way you set dress something, right? So like the actor might have a yellow suit, but they're in front of a red wall. Yeah, that's cool, right? But you can't see that on black and white, right? So so that's why
it'll be very tricky to do that.
Yeah, it would be.
And you can still see color, like this one project I'm helping out with, like the person's wearing like a red jersey, and like it's a red jersey because of the team that's on it. Yeah. So that's how you could be like, oh, that's a red jersey, but you can still also see like, oh, it's a little darker than certain areas or aspects of the space. Yeah. But I think black and white is beautiful because, especially when you see like shadows and stuff like that, like it's crazy how you can like. It just still looks good, even though there's like a dark shadow everywhere. Yeah. Like, doesn't matter. It looks so nice, so good, and you can still see like the definition of like even the shadow. Like, it's crazy.
I can dig that.
But I also feel like depending on how you use the color, it just makes a bigger impact.
For sure, yeah. I think that's why I'm like, between the two, for sure. Me is like color. I love to like mess around with different combinations, different looks of colors. Like I think it adds a little bit more.
You always get the example like girl in the red dress. Yeah, like everybody else has like muted tones or whatever, but then you get the girl in the red dress. It just makes a bigger impact. Everything just stops and it's like, oh, there's a different color. There's
different color, yeah,
for sure,
bright color. So you can work.
I can dig that.
But I like Young Frankenstein, and it's all that film's all black and white.
Awesome. Yeah. It's a great movie. Yeah, it's a
all right. And then speaking of color, continuing the color, RGB or CMYK?
Ooh, I think I'm an RGB guy. Does that make me a boomer?
No. Wait. Okay. The follow-up question: do you know what RGB and CMYK are?
I know RGB's red, green, and blue. I don't know what I've seen it, but I just honestly don't know the definition, like true definition.
Isn't that like a perfume?
Close enough.
No, it's DKNY.
Whoops.
Shout out to DKNY if you need sponsorship. I know you guys are kind of okay right now.
Sponsored by color.
Sponsored by color. That'll probably be part of the after show. And then for everyone who's listening, put in the comments what it means so Ricky can learn.
Hey, you always learn something new, man. Hey.
But yeah, so one is for digital and one is for printing. On the short answer.
Gotcha. Okay.
Obviously, you work with more digital sense, RGB.
Gotcha.
And then another question. Speaking of RGB, favorite color.
Why
is it blue?
So I was gonna give you two answers to that. So blue, growing up, blue was a very favorite color of mine. Maybe it's because I was a boy. Whatever the case is, blue was a very calming color for me. Like I was even the Blue Ranger when I was like a kid. Nice. But as I've gotten older, I like a lot of like green and purple. I'm really
green and purple.
Yeah. Anything like purple, like green tones, I really enjoy.
And funny thing, for you audio listeners out there, he likes green, but he's wearing red.
Yeah. I'm wearing red.
Complementary opposite color.
Wearing red font.
A black hoodie with like a red orange logo on it. Yeah.
No green, blue, or purple.
My sneakers have green.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Look, my sneakers
he hides that green way down there.
Yeah.
So for the video, this is green.
And then also his watch.
It's gold. But it has green in it.
It's got a little bit of green.
Sick watch.
Than's, man.
It's like so I'm a barf. I'm just kidding. Oh, wrong sick. Oh, okay.
This was actually a gift to myself. What was it? I think on my 30th birthday.
Nice.
31st. I was like, you know what?
But you're not even 30 yet.
No, that's with
your Cybershot camera.
A cool watch.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. The other question that has to again to do with digital stuff and whatnot. Is it pronounced GIF or GIF?
Jif. Am I wrong? I don't know. I think it's Jif.
Well, no, this is part of the collective mind of the audience.
I don't say GIF.
Do you know what it stands for?
Generated something font, right? No.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I was gonna look it up.
So on one of our podcasts, we're like, it might stand for like graphic something.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So because it's graphic, it's a softer G, so it's GIF. But if it's generated, it's a harder G, so it's GIF.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, and I forgot to look it up what it stands for. I think my phone is there, but I don't want to touch it.
That is a good point.
I think it's graphic image format or
so that's graphic my interface rationality on how to pronounce it.
I never thought about that.
If it's a hard G, then it's GIF, but if it's a softer G, then it's GIF.
That blows my mind, dude. Yeah. That's crazy. Blows my mind. That is insane.
I want to say a joke, but I don't know if I should say it.
After show. Everything happens on the after show. By the way, there will be an after show, as you all know.
It's behind the paywall, so like pay yourself $10 and then watch it.
Yeah.
Get a drink.
So excited for the after show.
Hey. And then a couple more questions, real quick. Favorite drink while you're creating art?
Oof. Favorite drink. So I'm gonna give you two answers.
Yeah, again with the two answers.
Yeah, I know. I'm a guy. I like multiple things. Now, I drink a lot of water with lemon. I think that's a great. Everyone should have all the time.
Also known as lemonade.
No.
It's very diluted.
Very diluted.
Very
lemonade.
Watered down. Lemonade.
Very watered down lemonade.
I guess.
No sugar. Zero sugar.
But drink I'm a whiskey guy, so I would probably have a whiskey, nice little old fashioned.
For your water, have you ever thought about like just putting slices of cucumber?
I've drank cucumber water in establishments. I've never done it myself, but I have thought. So I've done like lemon and lime water, because I'm very big, not very big, but I tend to try to intermittent fast every now and then. Okay. And the water, lemon and like lime water helps you the hunger and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. So it's cool. I just think it's nice to like be hydrating, and also for whatever reason, lemons and limes are really good.
I mean, it's so good. Yeah. It's so refreshing.
It's so wild.
Yeah. No, I dig that. I gotta start doing that more often.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, when you said drink, I was like, I'm sure he's talking about like alcoholic drink, but like
drink.
But like I'm working all the time, so I'm not drinking all the time. But yeah, drink.
Hey,
you know what? Cheers, guys. Cheers to drinks.
Sorry for the loud clanking for the audio listeners.
No, not sorry.
We're taking back some beers.
Yeah, no. Well, it could go with anything. Like we had a couple other artists that while they're painting, they prefer coffee.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, if you were just gave the whiskey answer, like, wait, you drink while you're filming?
Well, that's why I was like, that's why I didn't know where the question was going.
You're drinking while at work?
No, I'm saying I know Mr. Verano loves nice glass of whiskey every now and then, or beer.
Editing is also working, and like
like
all that behind the scenes stuff. You just get yourself a little whiskey while you're doing.
No, but coffee for sure. I would say, it's gonna sound really funny, but coffee and weed is like awesome, guys. I don't know if you ever tried it. Like just having coffee and also smoking.
In weed?
No, coffee and weed. Like smoking and then having coffee.
You don't dunk your weed in the coffee?
No.
Like a cookie.
No.
Is that how it works?
No, that's not how it works. That's hilarious.
But you should try it anyway.
It's coffee flavored weed.
It's a nice it's a nice feeling though, because like obviously the coffee like keeps you up. Weed is supposed to keep you like whatever, depending on what you smoke.
So you stay mid.
No, I stay pretty hyper, which is crazy.
Hence the coffee.
But yeah, that's if you never had coffee and smoke weed afterwards, try it, or together, whatever. Try it.
I can dig that. Yeah, to our audio listeners and to our people listening and seeing us. Let us know. Put it in the comment below what you think.
And
did it taste good? Did it make you feel good?
Or maybe we could get a sponsored by Cookies, the weed company. They're really popular weed company, guys.
Let's do it.
Sponsor Ricky.
Yeah.
Cookies, sponsor Ricky.
Yeah. So we could buy to buy more film, because film is expensive.
Because film is expensive. Please.
We'll take any sponsor.
Please. Anything.
And then one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a dedicated space to create, or do you just create wherever it is that you are?
Dedicated space. When I saw that question, I was like, dedicated, no doubt, dedicated space. Yeah, like I can't. There was a time where I used to go to like coffee shops or whatever, right? To like write, whatever, and like it wasn't working for me. I need like the space for myself to pace and walk and talk to myself.
Nice.
Okay. You know what I mean? Like so, you know, in my place
you
now.
You can do that at a coffee shop. Just walk around, pace
and talk to yourself. Yeah,
talk to yourself.
Yeah. Sure. In LA, you know what? In LA, it's kind of normal.
Yeah, so just wear a shirt that says, "Don't worry, I'm an artist."
Don't worry, I'm an artist. I'm not homeless or anything. I'm an artist. But no, it's you know, I've grown. I want to say probably like before 2000. I want to say before 2000, like 15, 16, I was more like, oh, I want to like go different places, whatever. And that was mostly because I didn't have the space to like dedicate, oh, I'm going to create and work here. It was like, I was in a small space. I was like, you know what, I got to go other places. Because I used to live at the library all the time. I used to go to the library all the time. When I first moved to LA, I was at the West Hollywood Library all the time. Like that's where I found the book, the Stanley Kubrick. That's where I like got a lot of inspiration, which was cool. But then after a while, I was like, yeah, you know, you have to worry about parking. You have to worry about space availability. I can't smoke inside the library.
It's like if you're there for 8 hours, they'll look at you funny.
Yeah, right, exactly. So dedicated space for sure. Like now I have my space. I showed you the photos. Like I got my 4 monitors. You know, like I just bought a little LED lamp so I could work at night better. I'm like, great, awesome. That's really what I need. Yeah, and it's just more space, man. Like my goal is to hopefully be able to have like an office room like you guys have one here. That's amazing. I love that, where it's like, hey, here's where I create, here's where I do my thing, and then I live my life outside of here, you know.
There you go. Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah. And that concludes the quick and A.
Nice.
It's usually never quick.
Oh, yeah. What's
I'm
sorry for my 2-part answers.
Like I would say, because of the 2-part answers, I'll give you a B minus plus. So it's a B minus, but it's not all the way down. It's like B minus plus.
Okay, but doesn't the B minus plus, I mean, in math, right? That means it's a negative. So it's a B minus.
Well, essentially, you know, a B will be like, let's say, out of 5 would be a 4. B minus would be like a 3.75.
Okay.
Right? Because it'll be a C plus. But a B minus plus would be more like 3.95, where it's like it's almost at but it's
B?
not. So it'd be like a C plus plus.
Well, just give me a B plus.
No, but it's under a. It's
got it. It's
right
under
above.
I got it. It's under B. Okay.
But not all the way.
But not by much.
But not by much.
But why? Okay. All right. Yeah. By 0.05 points.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
And that was because of the 2-part answers?
Because of the 2-part answers. Yeah. It's like you just make up your mind and just do it.
I need to look at the rules. Play the tape. I don't believe this.
You're under by 0.2. Yeah. Because of the 2-part answers. Not 0.5. You
Listen,
need the 5-part answers.
A B minus plus is passing. So I'll take it.
Yeah. But again, our audio listeners can give
me a grade?
Their grade for you guys. So scary. Put it in the comments below. See what you think. And
hopefully
again,
says
there are no right or wrong answers, but there are.
Ricky, you can when you listen to this, you can go and give yourself a grade.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, give yourself a grade.
No, trust me, it's gonna be some A plus action happening.
Like for every single answer I gave, including the 2-parter ones.
Yeah, even the 2-parter ones. That's
A plus for each one.
Exactly.
Mom says I'm an A plus.
Exactly, because I gave 2-part answers. That means I have so much to offer.
Yeah.
You know, that's what that means.
Like, oh yeah, also send it to your mom.
Yeah, to your
cousins, like, have them give
you. Just give me a grade. A.
Boost up my grade.
Boost up my grade.
Please.
We'll do the average.
Wait,
I didn't study
average
math. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
That hard.
Minus plus is a thing. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a B minus.
Yeah, because you get the average and then you subtract it from the grade, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Sure.
Dude, I know how to draw and that's it.
I'm not a mathematician.
I'm not a mathematician.
I'm not a math person.
So, like one of the things that you'll hear on this podcast a lot, because again, we want to talk about the artist journey. Because again, there's new artists that want to know what other people are doing or might have answers that they can't really get until they're actually doing it and stuff like that. And so in your case, you've been in the film industry, you've been doing photography, you've been doing production and stuff like that. And so where do you see yourself now? Like, where are you in your artist journey?
Artist journey. I feel like I'm in between a quarter and 50% there. Because I don't want to say I'm 50% there because there's still so much that I feel like I can do or haven't done in order for me to like say that I'm almost where I really want to be. But I think I've gained some experience, which is nice. You know, I could officially say that I've been doing production for 10 years now. Right now that we're in 2023, like I officially like took the jump in 2012, 2013. So officially 10 years doing the thing, working production, being like an artist in some capacity, you know, or being a creative, you know, in a capacity.
And sorry to cut you off there, but I do like what you just mentioned, you know, like I want to drill that point to the audience members and to the new artists. Like you say you're like a quarter to almost halfway through your journey, and you've been doing it for 10 years.
I mean, I don't know if I should be proud of that. No, that's fine.
No, but it is one of those things where it's like to become a good artist, an accomplished artist, it takes time.
No, it takes a lot of time. And I think even when I first started, I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to work in film and I'm just going to get on a couple movies and then that's it. But it was like, no, it was like 6 years of just like jobs that maybe I didn't want or, you know, taking shitty positions just because, hey, it's an experience. I'll be able, and you know, getting paid, whatever. But yeah, I feel like it took me like about 5 to 6 years to finally get into like a real rhythm where, oh, this is my strong suit. This is like my ability. This is what I could do. This is what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Excuse me. Yeah. So that's like, if you're doing the math, like, yeah, it wasn't from 2013 to 2018, 2019, I'm just like eating shit pretty much, like, or I'll say maybe 2018, eating shit, just like nothing's really happening. But then around that time is when like I finally like did the short and stuff like that. Like I started realizing, okay, you could do your own stuff somehow, figure it out how, use everything you've learned up until that point, and that's kind of where I was at. And I'm still learning. So like, even now, the projects that I'm attached to or the projects that I'm helping out on, I'm learning so much for like, okay, this could help me with my project now moving forward and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's one of the things about being an artist. Film, visual, like music, dance, you never stop learning.
No, you
never stop learning. Yeah. You know a lot, but there's still a lot more to learn.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
It's one of those careers that you would just continue to learn and grow. You're not gonna be like, all right, cool, now I know everything.
Yeah, no, never. And the thing is, like, you'll learn from people that are more experienced than you, and you'll learn something from someone that's not as experienced than you, you know? And that's okay. It's just I think people get too caught up in being like, well, so-and-so did it like this, or so-and-so had this help, or so-and-so. It's like, everyone's journey is completely different. You just have to worry about how can you do it for yourself and the way you want to do it. You can't just worry about Joe Schmo that had help or Joe Schmo that had opportunity. Like, that's great. You know?
Don't compare yourself to somebody else.
Yeah. If anything, you should be applauding anyone that's able to do what you want to do or what we want to do. Like, applaud them, because that just makes it like more like real. Like, hey, someone else did it. Yeah. Whatever way they did it, someone else did it. Great. Cool.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. And like, even with that in mind, like, do you have like any advice or like what tips would you give somebody who's starting out, like or like words of wisdom that somebody gave you that you would want to pass on?
I'm gonna actually suggest a book.
Okay.
So there's a book I read when I first moved to LA, and I was taking a class at USC, and there was a book that the teacher brought out to us, and it was called Steal Like an Artist. And it's by Austin Kleon, if I'm not mistaken.
Klingon?
Kleon.
Oh, okay.
Kleon. And the title is just that. steal like an artist. And the whole basis is just like everyone that you admire stole from someone they looked up to.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant looked up to Michael Jordan. You know, like even in sports, right? Not even just like an artist, just as like as someone that wants to be great in what they do, they study from the people before them, right? Yes. A lot of directors today that we love, they loved Stanley Kubrick, they loved Martin Scorsese, they, you know, like they grew up all these people and they stole stuff from them. Not stealing it like, oh, it's mine. No, they actually say like, hey, I took this from this Tarantino. As we were talking about Tarantino before, he's a big one on that. Yeah. I currently am reading a book about like he just came out with a book about film. He's talking about like all the films he's seen around growing up and his experience in film, and it's like, yeah, he's taken from so many people.
Yeah, he took like for the Kill Bill, he took from like a lot of Japanese films.
Yeah, and that's okay. But he still pays. That's him paying homage. Saying, hey, this stuff was so inspiring to me. Yeah, it's done so well. I love it so much that I'm gonna like do it too.
Exactly. You don't steal and say like claim it as your own. No, you're like, I saw this idea. I want to incorporate it into my style.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, so going back to your question is like, my advice is like, I don't want to say steal, but just like understand that what you like is what's inspiring you. So like tap into that, you know, like figure out, hey, I like that. How do I do that? Right? How did this person do that? Who inspired this person to do what he does or she does or whatever they do? Right? So, you know, and another thing too that I'm trying to like tap into in whatever capacity is like create every day, whether it's writing for yourself, taking a photo, whatever it is, drawing, whatever it is, just like create every day, just create. Like, and that's something like I have it as like one of my photos for some profile. I forgot where, and I remember seeing, because I saw it written on the ground one time. I was going for a job. I was like assistant coordinating on a music video downtown, and I'm going to the office, blah, blah. And I see create every day. And I was like, holy shit, create every day. Such a simple message. And like, so true. Just create every day.
Simple and powerful.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you know, of course you still need breaks at times, right? Like, hey, I'm tired. I can't, I'm not inspired. Sure, of course. But like you even doing an activity is you creating some type of experience. So it's like, just create every day, whatever it's an experience or it's you doing something, like just try to like keep
physical or mentally, you're always creating.
Yeah, always creating. Just keep like at that. And I think you're also within doing that, you'll start to see like what you like, what you don't like, what you're capable of like really doing, what you're not capable of doing, you know? Because I wish I could draw like you do. There was a time in my life where I was like, you know what, I could draw.
It's easy.
But you like, you know, and like I've heard you mention, is like it's really about finding like what you like and what you know. Hey, this is really fun. Like there's artists that draw stick figures and they're like highly successful, right? Like it's really random. It's like, whoa.
Oh, I gotta show you on Instagram this. I forgot what his name is, but all he does is just stick figures, and he's done like murals just using stick figures. Yeah, it's so cool.
And it's so cool. But again, he's found a style. But from probably him being a little kid drawing stick figures, he got inspired. You know?
No, and that is true. Like just create every day. Be inspired every day.
Yeah, be inspired every day.
And that is definitely a big message that I feel like as artists, more artists should listen. You know, because it is one of those things where, with my brother and I, we've had experiences where, like, if I tell him, like, oh, you know, when he was starting his art career, it's like, okay, get better quality canvases, like upgrade your art, upgrade your work. By creating every day or doing some other things, but he may not listen to me because I'm his brother. But if somebody else says it, it's like, oh yes, I'll do it because you say it. Like, and I feel like as artists, we need every now and again to somebody like to pull on our ears, like just do it.
Sometimes it has to be an outside source. It can't, like you said, source, you know, like it's your brother, so he's like, oh, whatever. Oh yeah, that is funny. I think I actually do follow this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at on the Instagram of the artist.
It's
Stick.
It's stick figure art, and his Instagram is Stick STIK.
Yeah, I've seen this stuff all the time.
It's so simple, but it's like so
just
effective.
Doing it every day.
Yeah, doing it every day.
It came from just drawing every day.
Yeah, and so my a follow-up question to that, to creating every day, and again, doing art. You've been doing it for 10 plus years. We've been doing it for 10 plus years as well. We're never always on a high. There are low points, and like, do you remember any low point that you ever had while in your career that, and like, how did you overcome like some of those low points?
This past year, or this past 2 years, I guess I could say, definitely a time where I wasn't creating as much as I should have. Other factors were, I was trying to take on a business or starting a business with friends, and then, taking on certain things that may have distracted me from like the main goal, which was, hey, create, do this, do that, whatever. And from that, the biggest lesson I learned was just like, you need to surround yourself with people that will help you attain what you feel that you want to attain, and not kind of like derail you from that focus or that like goal. Because a lot of times people may say that they're there for you or they want to help you with certain things, but they might not, because they actually might want to do that because they see something in favor for them, right? Instead of it being like, hey, I want this for you. I don't want this for me. I don't want this for whatever. Yeah. Like, and that's what I kind of like fell into the last couple of years, where it's like, too worried about like helping other people that never really would have helped me in that capacity, right? Where it's like, and I want to help because I've always wanted to help people, but now I'm like, no, I'm gonna help the people that I know would like go to bat for me, for my ideas, for my goals, for like what I want to achieve. Like they will do it for me as well.
Like taking off the leeches.
Yeah,
it's like, if you're lonely, a leech will be like, oh, he's my little friend, but they're just taking away from you.
Yeah, and that's like, and not even just like financially or whatever, it's just like energy wise, right? Like just things that are not, they're not helping you advance in not only what you want to do, but just as a human being. Like, I don't want to be arguing about things all the time. Like, let's just be adults and figure stuff out, and like, let's move forward, right? Like, I don't want to argue about your idea because it's not my idea. Like, if that's the best idea for this thing, let's do it. Like that's what, like that's the best idea. There should be a common goal for the idea, right? And I've had situations where like, people would bump heads about a creative, and it's like, hey, whichever idea it is, does it get us to where we wanted to go or what we wanted the final message to be? So, but like, just surrounding yourself with people that really truly understand what you want to do and what you want to accomplish is very important.
I can dig that. Yeah, that's definitely a good message, and that, I feel like that covers everyday life as well. It's like, what kind of friends do you have? Because your friends should be your first customers.
Right. And
should be your first advocates. Should be your first supporters.
For sure.
And if your friends aren't supporting you, are they really your friends?
And it's not so much like, like, oh, well, I don't, it's not about people buying your stuff or whatever. It's like, hey, do you see what I've like put work into? Do you support it? Great. Do you like just acknowledge it? Great. Cool. Like that's all we really need is acknowledgement that, hey, the hard work we're doing is paying off, or
even if it's like a pat in the back, like, dude, you did a good job.
You're doing a good job. Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And little things like, and so if people don't do that, and it's like, it's like it is one of those things, like, we are a product of our own environment, and the environment that we can choose is who we surround ourselves with.
Yeah. That was a huge lesson for me, man. It's like, that's why I came back here, because I've, even though I love home and home is great, it's just like, I wasn't around the people. Like, here I met so many great people that are constantly trying to evolve, be better in certain areas. And obviously, even on the East Coast, there's a huge creative community. Obviously, there's a lot of people. But here too, there's just as much. And it was just like, for whatever reason, I was able to get a good core group of people that were great, and I was able to collaborate with back on the East Coast. But I wanted to come back here because I felt that I did leave a lot of like good friendships of people that are making stuff, doing stuff, just growing, evolving, creating, just like doing the whole thing. And now back then, when I left in 2020, besides pandemic, my big thing was like, I always wanted to go back home, because I just wanted to go back home, and like, now I'm more just, I could be in both places. Doesn't matter. I could stay here for X amount of years and go back there whenever I want, or go back there for a couple months to do a job, whatever the case is. But, I just wanted to surround myself. And I felt that here in LA for sure, like I had a lot of people that just constantly doing stuff, you guys included, like you guys are part of that for me, where it's like, hey, these are guys, there's artists living their lives, like doing drawings, doing photos, doing paintings, hosting gallery shows, that was cool to see that back east, especially where I grew up, that's not normal to see. And that's something that I really want to bring back home. And that was part of the whole issue this last couple of years. Like I was trying to bring that to Jersey.
Yeah.
And pandemic was a lot of it and whatever. So
yeah, it made it more difficult.
Yeah, it made it more difficult. But, you know, to see you guys doing it like day in and day out, like specifically you guys, is so crazy. Like when I did the first like art show with you guys, I was like, yeah, this is dope. Like I could do this. Like this is great. Like it's just, you know, putting up your art, connecting with the community, connecting with other local artists. And it's just like, great. Why not? Like that's what you should surround yourself with people like that, especially as an artist, you know.
No, thank you for that. Yeah, no, thank you for the compliment for sure. Because it is a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But like you said, I do love what you mentioned about just surrounding yourself with good, positive, encouraging, supportive people, and I know it's never easy when whether it be a longtime friend or someone that you've known for a while, where it's like we have to kind of separate ourselves from them.
Yeah, and that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
But it's like for me to grow, if you don't want to grow, then why am I with you? That's one of the things that I think Snoop Dogg mentioned, where it was like when he was starting his career, he wanted to grow. He wanted to be up here, but everyone else was comfortable where they were.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were longtime friends. And he was like, well, I have to grow. I have to grow.
Yeah.
If you don't want to grow with me, then sorry, but
I have to grow.
I'm growing.
Yeah, I'm growing.
I'm growing. I don't know about you. I am growing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to stay there, that's fine. If you want to come with me, I'll help you grow with me. But it is one of those things where it will be hard, especially for upcoming artists. It will be hard to make that decision to grow, you know, to be where you need to be, like you know, leaving Jersey to come back here and find the people that will help you grow.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's just that, really honing in on like who your community is, who your circle is, who like, and again, like you're constantly going to meet other artists. And that's why I'm like, it doesn't matter how, you know, long you've known them. Like if their intentions are good to like help you with something, great. Like we've known each other now, 5 years? No, 6.
Close to 6, because I think one of the first projects that we were with Megan was
shout out to Megan.
2017.
Yeah, it was like 2017.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan. How are you doing?
She's so funny.
Yeah, she's got some funny podcasts as well and skits. She's amazing. We'll link her in the description later.
But yeah, that was like 6-7 years ago. And then after that, right, like, you know, we've been able to collaborate on so many other things, right? Big or small, right? It was just like, hey, you may know something about this. Oh, hey, you may know something about this. How can you get me in touch with someone, or can you help me, you know?
And it was always like a give and take, you know. It was never like, oh, Ricky knows me, so he uses me. Like, no, like if I have a question, like, oh, I'll ask Ricky.
You ask me,
and then you give me feedback, and then vice versa. So, and I feel like having that community, having that friendship, having that supportive partners and team is what you need to grow.
No, for sure, 100%. No one really does it on their own, man. As much as you may think it, like, oh, look at someone, like they didn't do it on their own. They had
somebody was in the background cheering them on.
Yeah, cheering them on. Whether it's one person, 5 people, 10 people, like there's people there cheering them on and helping them out and putting them in the right situations. So that's what it is. Like, you know, I learned like a lot of people are not trying to put you in the right situations most of the time. You know. Or they're not. They think they are, but they're not really like doing it for you. In a way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's something that, like, you know, it's gonna be hard when it happens to like, oh shit, it's not really working. It's not supposed to be. It's not for me. It's not in my favor. But then you start seeing, okay, can't work with them anymore or deal with them anymore or can't rely. You know, that's it. Yeah. You gotta move on, and that's it.
I can dig that. And then speaking of that community, that those friendships. Do you have like 2 or 3 artists that you would recommend, you would give a shout out to, so we can link them in the description, that have inspired you? Or
yeah. It's funny because when I heard this, I was like, damn, like
I
have so many people.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of people. Like,
I mean, you can name one if you want.
Because even just like
just me and him. Like
But even just like even some people that I don't know, right, that inspire me too. But but I will throw Los Ranos in there as one of the guys. No, seriously though, And honestly, even before you saying it, I was gonna say it was one of my top because, like I said just a couple minutes ago, is like you guys are a definition of like living artists. Like,
thanks,
guys, doing your thing.
Thank you.
Creating, spaces for people to creating spaces for people to network, creating spaces for people to just feel community, which is amazing, right? And it's not just here in your garage. Like, no, you guys actually go to places and really coordinate and like really make it an experience for people, which is nice. And I think that's an amazing thing. And I think because you guys do so many different things, right? Like, not only are you a filmmaker and all this other stuff, David, but like you make hats, you make graphics. Now, you're so like
like shout out to all the companies that I made throughout the years. They're all it's just me.
But again, it's a beautiful thing because that's you just being an artist, right? You just tapping into your creativity in different ways, right? And like, you might only draw on canvases, but like, no, you're probably gonna start making shirts eventually, right? And like now you make pins, you know.
So now I have to make shirts.
But my point is like that art that you do.
I have a perfect company, me.
That art that you do not could live on anything, right? So I think that's a beautiful thing. So that's why I always think about you guys all the time. Like even when I came out for the photo thing, for the photography like gallery or whatever.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was so much fun. That was my first time. That was like my first time actually like doing that, and thanks to you guys like really putting me involved and like putting me in the mix and stuff like that. I'm like, oh shit, this is cool. Like this is, I just gotta tap into more of these. This is fun, man.
There you go.
Then I'm trying to think of other artists.
Enough about us.
Yeah,
enough about us. Who actually really inspired me.
Yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so I'm gonna do a mix of people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shout out my friend Mike Mentor.
Nice.
So he's the one that I'm like helping out with a couple projects that he has coming up, short film projects, stuff like that. But I bring him up because he's busting his ass. Like he works really hard. He got to LA like a couple years after me, and like he was from back home. So he always tells me too. He's like, "Yo, Rick, like you were like one of the first people from back home that went to LA, and like we're doing the thing." So
nice.
It feels really nice to know that I was able to like somewhat be an inspiration from someone back home, right?
Yeah.
And now he's like doing great. Like he just worked on Babylon, the movie that just came out.
Nice.
He's working on big stuff and also doing his own thing. So it's just great to see like the hunger and the passion that people have off of just like seeing other people do it, right? Like I'm not saying just like, they hate like me, but like he's being inspired by so many other people too, right? So
and it's always good to see like friends like thriving.
Yeah, 100%.
So fun, yeah.
Like he's directing his stuff and he's asking me to help him produce.
Yeah,
of course, no problem, dude. Like, no problem.
That's where the camaraderie.
Yeah, of course. So I bring him up because he's a very talented writer, very talented director. Like, we just shot we're shooting everything of his on film. He has stacks of film because he's been able to work on these really big projects, and they give him just the extras. What is it? The end. I forgot what it's called right now.
The ends, the tails.
The tails. Yeah. But like he would just take them, and he's like, "Cool, I'm gonna shoot on film now." Like that's amazing, and that's just taking what you could get, right? Just being resourceful with what's around you and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, Mike. Who else? Damn, so many people. I gotta roll through my Instagram.
I know, right? It's like when I had that question, like I gave like a little description of a few, and then I just name dropped like.
Oh, actually, this is. It's fun. I'm gonna shout out. This is so funny. So I'm gonna shout out. Her name is Katrina LaFaro. She's actually my girlfriend's sister. But she has this page called Big Little Lines, and she sketches in pencil, and it's like amazing work.
Nice,
amazing work. Shout out Katrina. You're the best.
Big Little Lines.
Yeah, I'll show you right now.
Yeah, and we're also gonna put them on the description. Yeah, as far as the artist to follow and stuff like that.
But no, she's great. Like I obviously I'm like close to her now because of my girlfriend and my relationship, but. Just even her as an artist, like she's someone too that she went to art school, she's doing the thing, she's able to work on the corporate side, like as an artist, So just want to shout her out because she does a lot of great work, and I need to buy more pieces to put in my place.
Yes.
So shout out Katrina, Big Little Lines.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you found it? Yeah, that's her.
I found it. I'm looking at it. Yeah, that's her. So cool.
Yeah, and it's like some of it's like very like not so like I don't want to call it simple, but just like. Hey, maybe it's just a flower, but the way she does it is very nice,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it feels like what would you call it? Live drawing.
Yeah.
Where she sketches just people sitting on chairs.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
Like, using what looks like watercolors and like splashes of
and she has like
stuff.
my girl at her house, like she'll have like she has a bunch of frames of hers, and it's like, oh yeah, that's me and my sister. Like she'll sketch her and her sister. Like she has a lot of cool stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to Katrina. She's super talented.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Man, I could keep going. Yeah.
If you want to just do,
you gave me three, right?
Just do a list.
Just do a list of just names. Just a
oh my god!
I even just gave first names. I didn't even do last names. Yeah. just a list of random names.
Damn, so funny.
Yeah, because you worked on a lot of projects and stuff like that. So I'm sure you have.
I'm like, damn, you really want me to get like I could, but you asked for three, so I gave you three. Which one was you guys?
yeah, but that
doesn't count.
It counts. Like our Instagrams already.
All right, fine. I'm gonna throw someone else in there.
Yeah, just throw one more.
I forgot his name.
How dare?
That's a very.
But
good
have
friend.
you seen?
That's a very good friend.
No. Well, this is not even my friend. This is just this is just someone that again simple concept. Like you've seen that Whole Foods commercial where it's like a cutout and it's basically like a cutout. It could be of like a mother and a child, but basically the cutout is whatever is like implanted on it, whether it's like bananas, apples, whatever. I forgot his name right now. I think it's like Kyle something.
Yeah, we'll put it on the description. But for sure, we'll put it on the description.
But I'm gonna find it right now. But basically, his art is basically he just made cutout thing. Like basically a shape or outline of something, and whatever is the texture that's part of that becomes the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's like, but I've been following him for a couple of years, and then he just got this like Whole Foods commercial where his like literally his art is what's being used.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's crazy.
Hold
on, I gotta find it.
Yeah, that is a pretty interesting concept. But yeah, we will put like I said before, just to fill up a little bit of time. Well, he looks for the
Willingham. That's
Willem Dafoe?
Rudy Willingham.
Oh, Willingham.
Rudy Willingham.
Rudy Willingham. So shout out to him. Rudy.
And I've been following him for a minute now, but. This is like, he's done stuff with ESPN. So he's done stuff for like big brands now. And it's literally just because he thought of this idea of having cutouts.
Yeah.
Like he did one for Kobe. That was really cool too. That was nice.
Yeah, it looks like a more collage style where he cuts out the images. There's a really cool one that I just saw right now about Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And he cuts out, there's a famous picture of Johnny Cash where it's in black and white, and he's giving the finger.
Yeah.
He uses a cactus.
Yeah.
As what would be the finger and the hand.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Right? But like this is a guy that just started doing this as an artist, right? Just as a creative, and now he's like parlayed it as like, all right, now brands, like real brands, real companies, big companies are asking him for commercial ideas.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's utilize your art for our commercial. Cool. Amazing.
That. Yeah. And again, thank you for those inspirations, because that way we can also shout them out.
Yeah.
And hopefully other artists get to be inspired by them.
Yeah.
Well. And to finish off,
that's amazing.
The podcast, we'll finish it off with a couple little things. Where can we see your art?
Where can you see my art? Well, you can follow me. All the socials are Yooo Rick. So it's YOYOO Rick, RICK.
and then so that's
Instagram, that's Twitter, Twitch as well. I have that now, and I think YouTube I just changed it too, because I know YouTube you could change the URL
the
handle now. Yeah, so I changed it. So basically all the socials online are Yooo Rick.
Yo.
Except my Xbox. My Xbox is like Slick Rick 1118 or something.
Yeah, you need those numbers.
Yeah, I just always use that all the time.
And what projects do you want to give? Because I know you've done Abuela's Luck, which is a film that is close to your heart.
Yeah.
Is there any place that we can see either some of the footage or trailers of that
So
project?
right now there's no place to see it, but I do plan on trying to drop it with like because I'm trying to raise money for the future, obviously. So I'm trying to drop it with that. But that's coming soon.
Yeah, it was on HBO.
Yeah, it was on HBO Max. Right? It was for 2 years. So the short films, which a lot of the short films that you see on there will be for that, will be like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
I think now they've done it longer because the whole digital thing's changed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was 2 years. It was on there. You know, really great experience. Really cool to see that. You know, I grew up watching HBO all the time with like boxing fights and movies and shows growing up. So it was a very crazy experience to like have that happen to me because you know, in making something you're just like, hey, we're gonna make it, hopefully it just gets seen by somebody and somebody gets moved and likes it. So for it to go beyond that was very like you know, it was
but you're thinking about making it into a feature?
So I have a feature. I'm writing on it, you know, I keep writing it. I've you know, again, like I said, these last couple of years I've lost track on certain things, but I still never felt like I needed to rush it. I feel like even there's things that have happened to me in the last 2 years that now are inspiration. You're gonna
incorporate it into it.
So, which is really cool. So I'm like, great, you know what? This is great. You know, everything has its time. But outside of that, you know, I'm working on a lot of fun projects for shorts, even series, trying to put series together, you know. And this is me more on the producer end, just helping friends like bring their vision to life, which is something I don't, you know, people ask me like, oh, do you rather direct or produce more? I'm like, honestly, whatever the thing is, because like at the end of the day, I'm still
be in the creative room.
Yeah, I just want to be in the creative room with whatever. If it's my idea, great. If it's someone else's idea, great. Like I just want to be able to put out,
be part of it.
Yeah, be part of the creative process, you know. And like a lot of these projects are still close to my heart because it's like about my culture. You know, some of them are about Dominicans, some of them are about growing up in Jersey. So it's like it's still stuff that's close to me, and now I'm able to help, you know, people. You know, put that vision out, which is nice.
And then for your photography, your website, right?
Yeah, it's my website, which is also linked, and my Instagram and stuff like that. So all my photography is up on my website. I've been taking more photos, so be on the lookout. I'm trying to drop some more stuff, a lot of more film. And I'm trying to just, you know, be mindful that me working production makes me a visual artist, and even, you know, I wish I would have been selling photos forever, you know, when I started doing photography. But, you know, at the same time, I didn't know how to like utilize it as a business, understand what that really was. And, you know.
Because it was one of those things where when I asked you to like print out your work for our shows, you were still trying to figure out like, okay, what kind of frames, what kind of matting.
I'm so new to
like
it.
all the little nuances, like, because again, the creative side is the easy side, to a certain degree, but like, how do I put it on the wall?
How do I just make sure it stays up and there's good lighting and it looks good and whatever. So you know, just trying to stay busy as a creative in whatever way possible, where it's like, again, we're just getting a vision out and it's like, that's done, great, it lives forever, and we move on, you know, go on to the next.
But so again, thank you very much for being part of the show. Yes, and again, all the links will be in the description for his art, his Instagram, his website, his photography, some of the projects that he's been a part of, and especially like Abuela's Luck. That is gonna be a feature film. That it's gonna be amazing, and we'll be linking all that other information and all that fun stuff. But no, thank you very much for being a part of the show.
Having me, man.
It was fun.
Hopefully you weren't too stressed.
I was like, how to keep drinking this beer.
And again, to all our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. You've been listening to the LAArtist Podcast, and see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Yo.
Ooh, now the real drinking starts.
Hold on.
Oh shit, sorry.
You have been listening to the LAArtist Podcast. Feel free to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest episode. You can see bonus content on our Instagram at Lorano Gallery, as well as our website, loranogallery.com/podcast. Stay creative, keep creating, and no matter what, be passionate about your art.